Hello, Algebra 2. This is the first recorded lecture, so we're going to see how this goes. I want you to go ahead and get your notes out in front of you and find where you can see these steps. Before I get into these steps, I'm going to talk about what we're actually doing today. Today we're going to be solving equations, linear equations specifically, by substitution. You may not understand what this means fully right now, but I'm going to demonstrate with what we've already done. So what I want you to do now is I want you to push pause on this video, and I want you to take this equation, y equals 2, and x plus 3y equals 14, and I want you to plug it into Desmos. So I'm going to push pause, you're pushing pause, push pause, thank you. Whenever this restarts, you're going to see my screen that has Desmos and these two lines graphed. So get ready for the jump. And it jumped. Here we go. I graphed these lines. You can see the red line is y equals 2. You'll notice it's a horizontal line. It lies flat because the only information given is the y value is equal to 2, and that's what it looks like. The second line is blue. I'm going to show you where they intersect. Right there. Right where they intersect, that is the solution to this problem. And what that means is that is the only place where their x and y are the same. I'm going to repeat that. It's the only place where their x and y is the same. Now, before the time of calculators, before the time of Desmos, we had to solve this stuff by hand. So we're going to pass that tradition to you. We're going to teach you how you can solve these, find these 2 points, or these 2 coordinates, x and y, by yourself, by hand. So I'm going to push pause on this and head right back over to the notes. So go ahead and get yourself oriented and go back to the notes. But I think it's just kind of a cool demonstration of what we're actually doing. We're going to find these 2 things. All right, push and pause. All right, we are back, and now I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to actually show some work. This thing says solve by substitution. You have y equals 2 and x plus 3y equals 14. Not a big deal. Bear with me while I get used to writing with this pen. It's kind of weird on here, and y'all know my handwriting is terrible, so we'll see how we do. The first thing you want to do when looking at this is you want to ask yourself, you have to basically combine these 2 equations into one. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to talk about that. For this first example, the first line says y equals 2. So it says y equals 2. I'm going to underline that y there, and I'm going to underline that y here. What we can do is we can literally substitute. That means exchange, that means replace, interchangeable. That's what's going to happen. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to say the one we're going to insert, into another equation is this one. I'm going to choose y equals 2 to substitute, to insert. Y equals 2 to insert. And which one am I going to shove it into? I'm going to shove it into this one. X plus 3y equals 14. If you're lost, just bear with me. It'll make sense in a second. Oh, that's beautiful looking. Look at that beautiful handwriting. Hopefully it'll get better as I do this. Here we go. I'm going to insert the y equals 2 into the second equation. This is what it looks like. X, I'm writing the second equation, plus 3. Instead of y, I'm going to write parentheses. That's going to give me room to add my substitution. You can see the x from over here. You can see the 3 right here. The y is now parentheses, and then the 14. I'm going to underline in red, essentially. Whoops. I'm going to underline, erase that. Hold on, I'm going to pause and erase that. I'm going to underline in red what I want here. So this 2, this y, right here. I'm shoving this 2 in. Boom. And what ends up happening with that is I can basically evaluate for x now. So now with our algebra skills, we're going to basically solve for x in this. So the first thing I have to do is I have to do 3 times 2. That's distribution. That's a 6. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write this equation out. This is x. That's my writing. Gotta love it. X plus x plus 6, x plus 6. If you're wondering where the 6 came from, it's the 3 times 2. equals 14. I'm going to subtract the 6 over on both sides, minus 6 on both sides, and I have x equals 8. Pretty cool. Check it out. X equals 8. I'm going to go back to Desmos real quick, and I'm going to show you that we already kind of know that. Right there. Look at it. That x equals 8. Remember what this substitution does is it finds the point of intersection. So there's our 8. Now what I'm going to do, the next part, now that I have my x value, now that I know which x value I'm looking for, I'm going to do one more solution. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to orange right now. I'm going to use this equation again, the second one, but instead of writing x, I'm going to write parentheses. So here we go, parentheses. In theory, I'm going to write parentheses. Okay. So parentheses, I'm going to have my parentheses right there, x plus 3y equals 14. And yeah, I know the handwriting's worse than normal. I'm getting used to this device. I'm drawing on a tablet right now. Kind of weird. X plus 3y equals 14. That is from this equation up here. Instead of putting in the x, I'm going to actually insert the number. And we're going to do it right here. Boom. 8 plus 3y equals 14. Now we're going to solve for y. So what I'm going to do, there's no work to be done on this 8. It just kind of can sit in there. So I'm going to go ahead and solve this equation. And I'm going to subtract the 8 on both sides. Again, this is just normal algebra. If at this point you're panicking, I'm sorry, but this is just normal algebra. 3y equals, subtracting 8 is 6. We're going to divide by 3. Scroll down some. I don't have much room to scroll down with. And with that, I'm going to go to the side. After this cancels out, bzoomp, bzoomp, we are left with y equals 2. So all we have, y equals 2. What does that mean for our solution? It means our solution is a point, 8, 2. And to take you back to Desmos, just one more time to confirm it, boom. That's what we found. So that's how the math goes with the picture. I'm going to push pause, and I'm going to do a separate video for the rest of these solutions so you can work at your own pace.